let's go to kids.com, and if you like this video, please don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do it so that you don't miss any of my videos. So without any delay, let's get started. And today we are gonna learn how to create our own traffic light system. So today really we are gonna learn how to create our own traffic light system. So without any delay, let's get started. Then first of all, we are gonna see some connections. We are gonna look at some connections, and after that I'll meet you with some code. Like, though I'm doing the connections myself only, still we will meet face to face with some code in just like a few minutes after the connections. So let's get started with the connections. So guys, let's get connecting with our traffic lights. As you can see over here is a button, here is our active buzzer, and here are our 3 traffic lights, or you can say LEDs, or our classic traffic lights. So first of all, let's start with connecting a button, and we will connect a button with GPIO2. So let's take a wire. I'm taking the white wire over here, if you can see. Oh, yep. So this white wire, and I'll connect it to our button. Button, and with GPIO2, right? So we'll connect it with, just a second. So this is a GPIO2, right? So we connected it with our GPIO2 right now, right? So as you can see, it is connected over here with our GPIO2. Quite cool. Okay, so now we'll move on with connecting our ground with our button. So I'm taking a black wire for our ground, and we'll connect it over here like that, and in the ground rail. So as you can see, this whole rail is our ground over here, right? So as you can see, the whole rail is our ground. So I'll just ensure that with my color card that I have over here, I'll ensure that I'm connecting it on the right spaces. So GPIO and 2 is over here like that. Okay, quite cool. Okay, next what we'll do, now we have successfully connected our button. Let's connect our buzzer. So for the buzzer, I'm taking an orange wire, as you can see over here, right? And we'll connect it with over here on positive of the buzzer, GPIO like 35, sorry, over here with on the 35 rail, we are connecting our wire for our buzzer, and then its next end will go on GPIO 15. So let me see where 15 is on our color card. 15 is over here, right? And it's on 1 2 3 4 5. So it is on 1 2 3 4 5. So like 1 2 3 4 5. So as you can see, this buzzer over here is connected with GPIO 15. Now what we need to do, we need to connect this also with our ground. So take one wire, connect it on 35 and with our ground. This is going pretty well, right? Now let's connect our three LEDs. As you can see, this is a red LED, this is the yellow LED, and this is a green LED, and three of these are connected with our 330 ohms resistor. Now with the resistor, we'll connect these the resistor with the resistor using over here. With the resistor, we'll connect it with its GPIO pin, right? So we'll connect it to the GPIO pin, and the other end of our LED will be connected to the ground. So over here, like just next over here, with the resistor, we'll connect our red LED on GPIO 25, that apparently is on 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So it is on the 11th one, just under 10. So over here on 11, just under 10, is our GPIO 25. Right, so now our GPIO 25 is connected with our LED. Now let's connect the ground. Oh, I just forgot. I have the color wires for it, the proper colored wires. So as you can see, I have a red wire. So I just like this stuff. I have a red wire for our red LED. So we'll connect this red wire with GPIO 15 under our 10th rail. Right, connected successfully. Now let's connect the ground with our LED. So with our LED, connecting over here, right, and on the ground rail. Right, so now our LED is successfully connected. Now let's connect the other LED also. So now we'll use the yellow wire for the yellow LED, and this will be connected with GPIO 8, that is just under. So it is just under our GPIO 25. So just under our GPIO 25 should be our GPIO 8, is our GPIO 8. So the yellow wire connected successfully. So our yellow LED is connected with GPIO 8. Now let's take another wire to connect our ground. So we'll not take it too close to the LED. We'll leave one pin in between, and now over here like this, and then the ground. And then finally we'll connect our green LED, and this will now we'll connect the resistor with GPIO 7, that is just under GPIO 8, right? So just under GPIO 8 we have GPIO 7, where we are connecting our green LED, and we are now using the next wire, we'll connect it with our ground. So now on the ground rail is it connected. These were all our connections for our project. You can see these all wires are, there are so many wires and they are all tangled up. You could have done this much more neatly over here. I have done it as neat as I can, but you could have done this much more neatly. And now let's start coding. Dab! I just felt like dabbing once again. So guys, now it's time to write some code. So let's get started with our code. First of all, we'll do some imports. What we are gonna import from GPIO 0 a lot of stuff. Not a lot of stuff, but a couple of things, right? So we are gonna import a couple of things right now. Like, first of all, we are controlling LEDs. So we need to import LED. Next, we need to import a buzzer because we are controlling a buzzer also, right? As we know, we are controlling a buzzer, right? And then we are gonna import a button because when a button will be pressed, we need to tell that it's time for the pedestrians to walk, right? So this will all work just like a real traffic light. So next, from time, we will import sleep as usual. Next, what we are gonna do, we are gonna set the three LEDs. Red is equals to LED and be connected on GPIO 25 pin. Then yellow equals to LED and we connected it on GPIO 8 pin. And then finally green, that we connected it, that is an LED, and we connected on GPIO 7 pin. So now these are all our three LEDs. Now what we'll do, we are gonna initialize a button that is connected with the GPIO 2 pin. Quite cool. And finally, we are gonna initialize our buzzer that is on connected with GPIO 15 pin. Now we have initialized everything that we connected, right? So first of all, what we are gonna do, we are gonna create a variable pushed, right? So this is kind of like a toggle, right? Or you can say a flag, right? So this is a kind of flag, right, that we will use. So when push will be 0, we are gonna do something, else we are gonna do something. So that's in the future code. So now what we'll do, we are gonna define first of all our traffic lights method. So we are gonna define our traffic lights method right now. So this will basically control all our like traffic lights. So it will switch on red, then switch it off, then it will switch on yellow for a certain time, then it will switch it off, then it will switch on green for a certain time, then it will switch it off, then it will switch on yellow once again because it is red, yellow, green, and from green it goes back up like yellow, right? So it will switch on yellow once again, and then automatically when we loop forever, that red thing will come once again. So right, because it will repeat. So like when it will be red, yellow, green, yellow, then when it will repeat, it will start from red. So it will look like a continuous process, right? So this is basically in one iteration our colors will be red, yellow, green, yellow, right? So it will go like this in the traffic lights method. So what we'll do red dot on, we'll switch on red, we'll sleep for 5 seconds, we'll switch off red, right? Then we'll switch on yellow, so yellow dot on, then we'll sleep for 2 seconds, right? Quite cool. And then we'll do yellow dot off, then we'll do green, we'll work with green dot on, right? And then we'll do sleep 5, then green dot off, and finally we'll do yellow dot on, and this time instead of sleep 2 we'll give sleep 5 for yellow, and then we'll do yellow dot off. So what will this do? It will first of all switch on red. It will wait for 5 seconds. So red is on now for 5 seconds, and then it will switch off red. Then it will switch on yellow after switching off red, and it will wait for 2 seconds, and then it will switch off yellow. And after switching off yellow, it will switch on green, it will sleep for 5 seconds, it will wait for 5 seconds, and then it will switch off green. And after switching off green, it will switch on yellow, sleep for 5 seconds, and then switch off yellow. So this will go like this, right? So this is some very cool stuff, right? Then what we'll do, we are gonna define change pushed. So we are gonna define a function changed pushed, and this will change the value of pushed. What will do, it will access the global variable. So we are using the global variable, so we are accessing the global variable pushed, and then we are saying the global variable pushed that we accessed its value we are setting 1. So what is happening? Using the global keyword, we are accessing the global variable pushed. So now whenever we use pushed in our change push method, the global variable pushed will be affected. If we didn't give the global keyword, then it will take pushed as a local variable of change pushed, and if it will take it as a local variable of change pushed, then the global variable pushed will remain 0 and change pushed will have no effect on our program. So this change push method using the global variable is changing the value of our pushed flag, right? Some cool stuff. Then after all this like initializations and method definitions, what we are gonna do, we are waiting for a press of our button, right? So now we are waiting for a press of our button. When this will be pressed, right? So this is checking, it won't continue with the program till we don't press the button. So when the button will be first time pressed, then what we'll do button dot when pressed equals to change pushed. Now you will be having certain questions in your mind. I'll explain everything. The when pushed attribute is really an event for our button when pressed, basically. So we are setting it as we are giving it change pushed. Now it will use change pushed whenever the button will be pressed. So this is constantly checking for a button press. It is not stopping a program, it is continuing with our program, and it is constantly checking whether our button is pressed or not. Whenever it will be pressed, it will automatically call change pushed, that will change the value of the global variable pushed. Now what we need to do, we just need to create an infinite loop that will do some things when pushed will be 0 and some other things when pushed will be 1. Let's move on with our infinite loop. So while true, so now after pressing the button once, it will keep on listening for a button press, and it will then call change pushed whenever the button will be pressed. So we are giving while true if pushed. So we are checking if pushed is equals to 0, right? So if it is equals to 0, right? So it hasn't been, so this is basically indicating the button hasn't been pressed after being pressed once, right? So why it hasn't been pressed after being pressed once? Because if it was pressed once, then it would have set up this when pressed event, and if it would have been pressed twice, then pushed value would have been changed to 1. But right now it is 0. That means that it has only been pressed once to basically continue with the program, right? And to set up basically our event listener, right? So if it is 0, so if the program has just started, right? Not just started, if the button hasn't been pressed after being pressed once, right? Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna do traffic lights. So we are gonna call traffic lights. So it should like first do red, yellow, green, yellow, red, yellow, green, yellow, red, yellow, green, yellow, and it will go on for till, right? So it will go on like that till pushed is equals to 0. When pushed is not equals to 0, so it will go in the else statement if it does not find the value 0 saved in a pushed variable. So when pushed is not equals to 0, then it will go in the else statement, and in the else statement what we are doing red dot on, right? Then what we are doing, we are looping for x in range 10, right? So we are looping 10 times over here. And then every time what we are doing buzzer dot on. So we are switching on our buzzer, right? So we are switching on a buzzer. We are sleeping for a very little time, 0.2 seconds. We are sleeping for 0.2 seconds. Then we are switching off our buzzer, right? And then we are sleeping for 0.2 seconds. And after this for loop, we are switching off our red light. So it will go like beep, 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 right? So it will go like that. And finally, we'll set pushed to 0. And believe it or not, this was the program. Less than 50 lines. But let's just try to understand what is happening. When we are waiting for the press, after it has been pressed, right? So after the button has been pressed, we are checking that we are adding an event listener when pressed. So whenever the button will be pressed next time, it will change the global variable pushed value to 1. Right? Now we are checking in a while loop, right? So in an infinite loop, if pushed is equals to 0. So if we haven't pressed the button, pushed is equals to 0. So in the start, we'll take it as like pushed is equals to 0. So when pushed will be 0, then it will do this, it will complete this whole cycle of becoming like red, yellow, green, yellow, right? So this is one cycle, red, yellow, green, yellow, right? So it will complete that cycle. Then it will go above. Then it will check that if pushed is equals to 0, it is simultaneously checking for a press. Whenever it will be pressed, pushed will be 1. For example, when the traffic lights is going on and there is a green light for all the cars to get past, right? And now there is a pedestrian walking up and he wants to cross the road. He will press the button so that next time he gets more time to cross the road without any accidents. So when he presses the button, it will set pushed equals to 1. Traffic lights will keep on going, right? Traffic lights will keep on doing its work, right? Traffic lights, the method traffic lights won't stop working. Simultaneously only that change pushed method will be called, that will change the value of push to 1, right? So now when traffic lights is completed, for example, it was red, yellow, green, then suddenly somebody pressed the button, pushed is equals to 1, but traffic light keeps going on, so it becomes yellow once again. Next time when it checks if pushed equals 0, it had already been changed when traffic lights was running. So when traffic lights was running, pushed values was already changed, right? So it changed the value of pushed already. So it will go in the else statement in which switch on the red light that it would have done in the traffic lights method also, but we are doing something else now. It will loop 10 times, and every time it will switch on the buzzer, sleep for 0.2 seconds, switch off the buzzer, and sleep for 0.2 seconds. So it will go like beep, 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 and red light will be on. And after that, all that beeping, red light will be off and pushed will be 0. So next time it checks, it will be pushed equals 0. So traffic lights will be called once again and it will be back to normal. And this was the code, guys. Let's see it in action in 3, 2, 1, snap! Guys, now we have written some code. Let's test our program out. So when I press run, our program is running. Now to start it, we need to press our button that is hidden by all the wires. So when I press it, this program will be started. So as you can see, the red light is blinking for 5 seconds. Then for 2 seconds a yellow light blinked, and then not blinked, switched on. Then for 5 seconds a green light switched on, and then for another 5 seconds a yellow light switched on. as we programmed to. Then it is repeating the whole thing once again, right? So it is repeating the whole thing once again because it is in while true. Now the moment I press this button once again, this will basically now what it will do, it will say that now some pedestrian has to cross the road, right? Some pedestrians have to cross the road, so we need to make the red light stop for a longer period of time. So let's press this. Now on the next iteration, as you can see, it is beeping, right? So it is beeping, telling the other cars that some pedestrians are crossing the road, right? So that was beeping, telling the other cars and all that some pedestrians want to cross the road. Once this button will be pressed once again, on the next red light it will beep. So I press this. So now on the next red light, it will keep on beeping for some time. So as you can see, it is beeping over here quite loudly, like telling the people that some pedestrians want to cross the road. Please wait, cars, please wait for the pedestrians to cross the road. And you can see this is like just a working like your traffic light, right? So your traffic light works the same, right? You press a button, on the next red light you will get some more time to cross the road. And this is a fully functioning traffic light program, guys. As you can see, this is a fully functioning traffic light program with a buzzer, with a button, and with all the 3 LEDs that are needed for a traffic light. So thank you guys. If you like the video, please don't forget to smash like button and share this video with as many people as you can. Thank you guys. Bye. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep watching my videos. Damn!